Hello and welcome. My name is Dusty Acrobat, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about Minecraft's update, their new drop system, and what I think they could be doing in the future. And while I'm talking about that, you're going to be watching some video of me between episodes of our Amplified Survival World, going into the end and getting a bunch of end rods that we need for our project. So before we get into it, I would like to remind everyone of the Bible verse, 1 John chapter 1, verse 7. But if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Jesus, his Son, purifies us from all sin. And that is the gospel, that we have a Creator who is good and holy. He gives us his definition of what is good in the Ten Commandments. Sin is disobedience to God. We all sin, and as sinners we can't be in the presence of a holy God. Despite this, God loves us and wants us to be with him. So he sent his Son Jesus to live out the perfect life we can't. Through his death on the cross and resurrection, he has paid the penalty for our sins and conquered death and our separation from God. When we follow Jesus by repenting, turning from our sins, and putting our faith in him for our salvation, we can now stand holy before God as Jesus does and be in his presence forever. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, let's hop right in with talking about what Minecraft has been doing for updates in recent years before hopping into what I think they should be doing. And of course what I'm talking about is the drop system. They've been doing, instead of big updates, a lot of small updates just more frequently. The first of them was the Bats and Pots update, which updated the bat model and improved decorated pot mechanics. The second one was Armored Paws, which added the Armadillo Wolf Armor and the new Wolf variants. Bundles of Bravery, which added Hardcore for Bedrock Edition, Bundles, and Java Realms. You had the Garden Awakens, which is the Pale Garden, Pale Oak, the Creaking and Resin. Then you had Spring to Life, which was all the new animals and new nature blocks. You had falling leaf particles, ambient sounds, and more distinctive textures for spawn eggs. We had Chase the Skies, which was of course the Happy Ghast, made saddles craftable. We had the Tears music disc, the Lava Chicken music disc, and the locator bar. Improved lead mechanics, all of that. The Copper Age, Copper Golems, Copper Chest, Copper Tools, Weapons, and Armor. We had the shelves in that, more distinctive dye textures. We had the Mounts of Mayhem, which had the Spears, the Nautilus, the Zombie Nautilus, Nautilus Armor, Zombie Nautilus Jockeys, Zombie Horses, all the crazy mounts that they had at that time. Tiny Takeover, of course, was the Golden Dandelion, making name tags craftable and updating baby mob models. Chaos Cubed update, which is the update we're currently updated in, which is the Sulfur Cube, Sulfur, Sulfur Springs, Sulfur Caves, Sulfur Cube, Sulfur Music Disc. And the third drop of this year is Concrete and Wool Slabs and Stairs, Improved Maps, the Straw Bed, Abandoned Camp Structure, Cushions, Dappled Forest, and Poplar Wood set. So you can see they have really added a lot of content in the past couple years. But my main problem with how much content they've been adding is it feels like it's, I'm not going to use the word worthless, it just feels like it's a bit lacking. Like the old updates, I know they were so much bigger, they took a lot more time, but for the Nether update, for instance, that's maybe a bit rough to use as a model for what updates should be because it was just so big, so expansive, one of the best updates they've ever done. But if you take, for example, that with all those drops over about 2 years, they're about the size of the Nether update. Let's see, there's like 2 new biomes in there. I get they retextured a bunch, but they retextured a lot and added a lot in the Nether update as well. So we'll call all of what they did equal for the drops and the Nether update. Seems pretty fair to me. The Nether update took, I believe, only a year, maybe a bit more in development. I could be very wrong about that. I'm not exactly sure. Or if you use like the Wild update, even an example, that added a lot of stuff. I know it was kind of a continuation of 1.17 and 1.18, which were the what did they call them? The Cliffs and Cave updates, I believe, was what they were called. I know that was kind of a continuation of those, but still, they added a lot of new content. I would honestly prefer waiting and getting a bigger, more thought out, more one thing centered update, because we have lots of new biomes now in the game because of the drop system. I think the drop system did really add some good things to the game, but for, let's say, again, using it as an example, the Nether update we had a very, of course, Nether-centered update. I think they need to get back to that. Let's say they did a desert update, and it took a year, but after that, the deserts were on par with the full dimension of the Nether. Like, I know they wouldn't be adding maybe that much to the desert. That's not the best example I've ever used. Or a hot biome update or something, where they just took the time, took a year or something, to get that completely just on par with their previous work. I think that would be a much better use of time than doing the drops. That being said, there are a couple reasons why they are doing the drops. I believe the stated reason was that they wanted their devs to be able to express creativity, and they wanted to update the game more often, even if it was with smaller updates. And that a lot of people like the drop system, and a lot of people don't. So there's a few reasons for each, of course. I've already stated why I find the drop system a little bit lacking. Why people like it, of course, updates more regularly, faster updates, but still, you know, they are smaller. I've expressed that already. I might repeat myself a little bit in this video just to keep my head kind of on track with where we're going with this. So yes, the stated reason, developers more creativity, more updates faster, but there's also the secondary reason, and this is me kind of speculating. Minecraft, or the Mojang team, is owned by Xbox or Microsoft, and the old CEO, I hope I'm getting this right, of Xbox was using the money gotten from Minecraft to keep funding other game developers or teams that hadn't published a game in like 20 years. So pretty much taking Minecraft's funds and keeping games or developer, what do you call them? Production, no, pretty much production teams around that maybe didn't need to be anymore. So that's one thing. I'm hoping that the new CEO of Xbox changes. It seems like she's doing a really good job. She's now working personally with Jens and the Mojang team to hopefully, you know, figure out what Minecraft players like and enhance that more. Try to, you know, give us some more stuff. They're trying to take care of their players now, which is an incredible thing if they actually do it correctly. Another thing that's been happening is, or that's been being talked about, is what will the next major update be? Because they did say that they will continue working on major updates in the background while still giving us the drops in the foreground. So that is a positive thing about the drop system, but still I feel like we're getting too many random tiny updates. So what do I think this new update, the next big update, will be? And there's a couple things that I think. Usually when I say what I think it is, they come out with something completely random. Like, I always hope for the end update, of course, but it's always something random. Like Trails and Tales caught me completely off guard, and I love that update. The trial chambers are pretty fun unless you have to do 15 of them. The let's see, the mace is an incredible weapon that I'm super glad they added. You have a lot more copper blocks, I believe, in that update, maybe. You have a lot of cool stuff that they added. You have the breeze and the bogged, I believe. Yeah, so really, really good job with that update, but it caught me at least completely off guard. So they always do things like that. But seeing as the Minecraft community has been asking for literally probably 10 years for an end update, I think that is one of the possibilities. I know everyone online screams about an end update, and I know I'm not the first, I won't be the last, but I think it is actually a distinct possibility in at least the next few years that we will get an end update. Another possibility is a new dimension, and that actually holds a little bit of water for a couple reasons. One, because Dungeons 2 is coming out, and it seems like there is a new dimension through the Ancient City portal. And there is a decent chance that if they're adding a new dimension to Dungeons, they will add it to the main game at least at some point. So confirmed that the Ancient City portal is actually a portal, although I'm pretty sure everyone already knew that. And it might be coming to the game at some point. The reason I'm a little bit more unsure of that possibility is because about 2 years ago or something, it probably longer than that, one of the developers, I know that one of the developers doesn't necessarily speak for the whole team, said that they wouldn't update the end until they finished, or they wouldn't add a new dimension until they finished the dimensions they already had, or at least worked on them. So that's why I kind of don't think they'd be too prone to adding a new dimension, is because they haven't fulfilled that. Then again, that may have changed. It may very well have changed, and we're just not aware of the change, and that'd be fine. If we get a new dimension, that'd be awesome. I would be a little upset that they didn't fulfill the end update first, though. So that's a possibility. Another possibility is that they do something completely random again, like, a warm biome update to finish out the overworld or something, and I'd be fine with that too. Pretty much any update they could add, I'm going to enjoy and find fun, just some more than others. They have stated that the next few updates they have planned, or the next time, is going to be focusing on the adventure side of Minecraft, and I think that's a really cool thing. I want to be able to, in the next few years, I'm not really saying I am going to do this, I just want to be able to do it, is just wander around a world and have a story being told by the terrain, or at least a story to put with the terrain. Like, there's a desert, and there's a swamp, and there's a sulfur cave under that, and there's this crazy structure or something. I think that is a really good idea for them to focus on at the moment. So adventure, great theme for the next few updates. I really appreciate that. Then, let's see, what does that come to? I could talk about a few things that I think Minecraft needs, although I've shared quite a bit of that. What they need is, of course, an end update. They need a warm biome update. I wouldn't be opposed to a combat update. They need a brewing update. I think they need to update food as well, because pretty much right now food is not limited, but in late game everyone pretty much just uses golden carrots or pork or steak. Those are the three main. If we had prepared meals or something, you actually had to think about what you're doing with it. I think that's really good. You may disagree with me, but I think adding more strategy is not the right word, but planning to what you want to do is actually quite fun. So that's like potion brewing, I think, should have different steps or something for what you need to do to brew a potion of invisibility rather than a potion of instant harming, or some change between those and stuff like that. I think would be cool. A villager update might be kind of nice. But I don't know what they do. Maybe, yeah, that one's kind of out of the box. I really just say that because it's really easy to make villager trading. You know what? No, I take that back. Villager trading halls are just unenjoyable to make. I think they need to do something to make them more enjoyable. That's a better way of saying what I have in my head. And then let's see, what else? What other updates would I be absolutely thrilled with? This might come as another just out of the box one. Eventually, it doesn't have to be in the next few updates, of course, because they just added one of these, but a bunch of new cave biomes or something where you have to search further underground. Because let's be honest, after a few days underground, you have 90% of things. So if you had to actually like specifically search for one biome or whatever to get some certain whatchamacallit, or some ore even, that'd get annoying. So it'd have to be some purely either decorative or not as useful, or like you don't need it for a ton of crazy armor or whatever. You're maybe late game or mid game before you want to find it or something, or just little inventive things like that. The caves should feel like the overworld. Like there should be adventure to it. It shouldn't just be doing whatever. And I do admit that they do have a pretty good cave system. They have a pretty good amount of caves. I think we just need more cave, to be honest with you. So we have that, and I think that's pretty much what they need. After that, they can pretty much just have fun with whatever, I think, and that'd be a super interesting age of Minecraft. That'd be on not weird, but it'd be super interesting to see what they did after that. Like if you had a lot more update time and resources to, like, if they had that with the Pale Garden, what would it look like nowadays, you know? Or would they add like 10 forest biomes an update? Would they add 10 cave biomes an update? I don't know. I don't know exactly the Mojang development thought process there. I know they have some rules they abide by. I don't know how thin-walled those rules are. I don't know if they come to what you can add in updates. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. Another reason I think the Minecraft drop system is good. It adds, I'm gonna say again, it adds a lot of content I enjoy. Like, there's the sulfur caves and there's copper golems. Like, I love using copper golems in storage systems and such. I love doing that. That's an incredible update. I think it is too many things, with exceptions, of course, that just seem like they need more. So let's take what's a good example? We have the Happy Ghast update. They did a pretty good job with this one, but it also kind of, to me at least, feels a little like they have one feature of an update that's not fully dropped yet. It feels like a snapshot almost. Some of these, yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Some of them feel like snapshots. The bundles of bravery kind of. We're getting better ones. They're getting better with the process. Like the dappled forest feels pretty complete in of itself. I just wish there was more links between the updates, if that makes sense. I wish you had copper and all these other things interacting. I just feel like the drop system might not give as much ability to have the devs play around with things and have things interact with each other. At least in my opinion, I think that is correct. Let's see what else. They have made some very good decisions with updates and drops in the past. I agree with that. They are a bit sporadic though, like with the themes of them. I think that's okay as well. Don't get me wrong. They add a lot of content in a very short period of time, or a reasonable amount of content in a reasonably medium-ish sort of time frame. But still, they could maybe, in fact, take a whole year, and this could be annoying to players. I'm just throwing out ideas. They could take a whole year and just every season, they do 4 drops a year nowadays. They could add an end update or a cave biome or something. Like, if you theme the whole year around something, it might be interesting. Then again, it might get stale. So they're walking a fine line here. So honestly, the drop system does a lot of good and a little bit of damage. So it's about in the middle there, for me at least, as if they should not do drops or not. I mean, I think they shouldn't, but I can see how they are beneficial. Or maybe they did 3 updates a year, and then, or 3 drops a year, and then they did 1 drop that was purely for just like linking updates or doing stuff like that. Like if you could use the Happy Ghast and that's a bad example, or the copper golems and have them riding Nautilus. That's again a really bad example, but if you added more links between things and made it more interconnected, I think a lot more people would enjoy them. If you spun a wheel even and just got, okay, we're gonna update Amethyst, and then you just completely overhauled Amethyst geodes or added more variants or something, that might still feel more interconnected to the game than some of the things they've been doing have been. I could be completely wrong. Maybe no one else shares that opinion. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of change there. Again, that could just be me, but I think there needs to be a little bit of something there. And they might need to take a look at what they're doing, and either they can choose, okay, we can continue doing this, and honestly, I'd accept that. They're giving us in a year, about maybe half an update to an update, depending on what we get. Like now we're getting the Dappled Forest, and that's pretty big. Like that's a good sized chunk. Like that one and the Mounts of Mayhem, I'm actually very, very, very pleased with. Like they did an incredible job on those two. Those actually feel like really good, fully thought out, fully fledged updates, and I'm here for it. They did really good with those. They updated the loot in the, what do you call them, water temple, water ruins, ocean ruins. They updated another use for netherite, a couple new uses for netherite. They gave us a bunch of new uses for zombies and husks in the mounts, and they added a new skeleton for the desert, which is, kind of a desert update. They did an amazing job with that. Dappled Forest, can't wait to stumble upon that in the game. Concrete Stairs, they updated concrete. They gave us wool updates. They gave us map updates. Like, I think that's really what makes the updates, is when they go back and redo. Yeah, here's what it is. It's when they redo old things instead of adding new things, I think, is what I prefer. So with those thoughts, pretty much, I don't have much else to say here. I am very much looking forward to the Dappled Forest update. I can't wait to see what they come out with this Christmas or this winter. One more thing I should remember is, if this is true, I hear a lot of rumors or a lot of thoughts by people, and I think this one is very interesting. So starting off, we've gotten a bunch of new updates. I say updates, tweaks for the end. There was a area about a few thousand blocks out in the end that turned the end into rings, like rings around Saturn, pretty much. And that was a glitch. It wasn't a feature. They kind of just accepted and let it lie for a while. Now that's been removed, and the islands are continual. The Ender Dragon egg, the particles around it, now trail it when it teleports, so you can find out where it went. That's a new quote-unquote end update. You have the end flashes that were added a couple updates ago. That's another end update. And now, Minecraft, this could just be because they've added a lot of drops and want to get redone. They've removed the rating from their game, I think. They've removed it from the launcher, I believe. That could be totally incorrect. I saw it somewhere. But they usually used to do that, at least, before they gave a big update, right? They had to get it re-rated. So that could be it. Or if it's true, they could just be updating because of drops. I don't really know what they're planning, but whatever it is, I'm here for the future of Minecraft. I think one of the best times I had during my time of about 9-10 years playing this game is, there's been a lot of good times. There was the time when I actually got into watching Minecon for those few years before they did the drop system. I preferred how they were doing those. It felt bigger, more impactful. Now it just feels like, okay, you got a half an hour to figure out where they're going with the game. It's still really fun. I still watch it. It's still an experience. I like seeing what they add to the game. But it's not as impactful is the word, I guess. So I liked that time when they were adding the big updates and they did the big Minecon. It was really cool. I remember I was camping and I got to watch the Warden for the first time. That was incredible. I remember all those things. Another second favorite maybe of mine was when I first started playing the game, didn't know Minecon was a thing, didn't know how they did updates, and I would just come in all of a sudden and there was glowberries, or not glowberries, I watched that one. There was sweet berries, or there was new mob or something. I got to figure out what it did. That was a great time, And I think they've been doing a pretty good job for what they have, you know what I mean? But I think they haven't gone downhill. They've just gone they've gone off of what they used to do, which is okay. They've gone, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. They've gone to a different system, which I don't like change, but if it's a change they want to happen, or it needs to happen, with the drop system being more commonly used or used now in Minecraft. Oh, I'm sorry, my tornado siren outside, it goes off on Wednesdays as a test. I live in the south, so we get those now. I apologize if you can hear it. Um, yeah, I don't really think I have anything more beneficial to say at the moment, so I hope you've enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this, and I think I'm finally turning comments on this video, so if you have any other thoughts, please put them there. But until next time, I have been Dusty Acrobat, and good. Luke chapter 5 verse 26. Everyone was amazed and gave praise to God. They were filled with awe and said, "We have seen remarkable things today."